So thank you and very good morning, good afternoon to all of you. Uh, and I'm first of all very happy on this occasion of the 25th anniversary celebration of CNDE. It seems like just yesterday when we were all students at IIT Madras and Professor Krishnan is talking to us in the lab, asking us to join him to do some very exciting projects. And now we are already 25 years into the future. Uh, I'm personally a little bit disappointed that I couldn't be there in person. In fact, I'm going to travel to India later this week, but the plan was not there originally. So I miss seeing you all in person. But I'm grateful to Mr. Manoharan and Professor Krishnan for making this possibility of addressing you all virtually. So the topic given to me is quite ambitious in terms of covering the future of CNDE. And I think it's a tough topic. And I can say, I must confess, I've been able to put together only a little bit about the coming future. But I thought that a lot, future is there in the past. And so I'm going to cover a little bit of the current developments and then lead you on to where all of that is leading towards. So, in terms of our vision, so we are definitely guided by the directions given by great personalities. That indeed, for no salvation to no individual is possible until the whole collective is liberated from their everyday struggles. So we see that there is a lot of disparities and challenges in the society that we are in. And this is true for all the global south, not just in India. And today we face, particularly within the infrastructure maintenance aspect, a number of challenges which are of the nature of techno-socio-economical challenges. So there are also policy and governance aspects that must be addressed so that we can actually solve some practical problems. So a case in point is this problem of eliminating manual scavenging. So this is not one of the core of the CNDE work originally, because we typically work on trying to find out the cause for leakage or the cause for pilferage or the cause for corrosion or damage to happen. We typically do not work on fixing those causes, actually, fixing those problems. But that segues into me to the second point. I think that sort of is the one of the key features of the way we approach things at CNDE. I put together a 5-point value system, and there is there in our brochure as well now. So, which is we typically try to solve problems with. The value system for us is I think something like this is what has been propelling us all through. We try to go very deep into the subject, combining theory and practice, but also try to explore allied domains that enriches our core work as well. Eventually, we benchmark ourselves against the best in the world. We try to have a strong participation and collaboration with industry, and finally, we do not shy from translating our expertise and IP into real world impact through startups that originate from our lab. So this slide is about from my own work, but you can see although the core work is in ultrasonics, we have definitely branched into allied topics such as metamaterials, which are ways in which we can capture ultrasonic phenomena beyond standard limits. Abhishek has just spoken to you about all our work in terms of metamaterials. On the other hand, robotics is something that is actually not even directly connected to what we are doing in the core NDE disciplines. But today, robotics has enriched all our work. For example, we are able to inspect 300 meters under the surface of from the surface, ocean surface. We are able to inspect inside storage tanks. We are able to detect defects deep inside pipelines. All of this wouldn't be possible if we did not explore robotics on our own. So that is one of the examples of how we are exploring allied topics. Similarly, we have always worked to try and see how we compare against the best in the world. So today, our collaborations exist not only within IIT Madras, we are working across departments, but all over the world. We are working with some of the best research groups working on different themes and topics. The who's who of industry can be thought of as constituting our collaborators. And all of this ultimately, of course, bears into our research activities. So CNDE graduates today are occupying key positions in startup industry and academia all over the world as such. Right. So now the final point I'll stop at. I'll talk about before moving on is about our work with startups. So we have prided ourselves in working with young people and slowly, and with a lot of hard work, build up startups that can create giant impact. So here is a slide that captures some of the young people who work with us, continue to work with us in putting together these startups that ultimately license out CNDE technologies. So in a sense, though, this is not an isolated phenomenon. So this is an IIT Madras phenomenon, I would say. So just in the last year, we put out 100 startups, and this year as well. Again, we repeated this feat. And thanks to this kind of ability, we today have a presence across the world. And CNDE alone has created more than 16 startups over the last 15 years. So in terms of the future, where are we going? So we are looking at really technically 5 different domains where we will evolve in the future. So one is the area of ubiquitous sensing. So what ubiquitous sensing refers to is that can we use passive approaches? Can we use a structure itself as a sensor? So, for example, there is work from our lab, even published last year, where we say that just by measuring noise, we are able to detect defects inside the structure. So that's the direction in which we want to go towards sensing. So that is no additional footprint in terms of sensors, but we gather insights by understanding about the physics in a much deeper manner. Abhishek has presented in terms of metamaterials, but in terms of imaging, we want to look beyond classical limits and we want to go down all the way down to the quantum scale, for example. So we are looking at edge intelligence, that is creating intelligence close to where the phenomena exist so that we don't have to have excessive processing power. We are also very excited about wide area technology. So, for example, we are looking at, and this is something as we are a closed in community, I'm saying we've not published anything yet, but we are looking at cosmic ray based NDT by which we can do inspection of, let us say, an entire campus at the single go. Now, that's the kind of large area inspection that we are looking at. So, technologically, technically, in terms of the future, I am personally excited about these trends, which is in metamaterials. Passive sensing, that is, can the structure itself be considered as a sensor? And indeed, looking at quantum approaches in acoustics and also in analytics. So recently, our lab has been featured as one of the centers to obtain funding from the National Quantum Mission. We have funding for 3 years to look at what algorithms are ideally done using a quantum computer. And in this way, CNDE is taking a lead in terms of research within the technological domain. This is more in terms of core work such as sensing, but also in allied approaches such as metamaterials and computing, for example. Going forward, what we see is that today I am located in Zanzibar as a director in charge. Indeed, the NCNDE, the National Consortium for NDE, has been formed with several national as well as MNC partners. Personally, I see that the NCNDE will drive collaborations between IIT Madras and the Middle East and North Africa region. The Middle East may be in turbulence right now, but we are expecting that is temporary and that CNDE presence through me being present in Zanzibar means that we are going to drive those collaborations. And those collaborations will be driven by industries. Already, we have MOUs with several universities in this region, and these are MOUs with our lab primarily. And indeed, we see that industries from the region, so for example, Craft has been wanting to sponsor an entrepreneurship development program. There is Aluminium Africa in Dar es Salaam, so we are establishing these new relationships and partnerships as we go forward. So indeed, those are the trends that I see. That is core technologies in which we are advancing sunrise segments, and then there is our footprint. We are looking at expanding our footprint globally through the pioneering initiative of NCNDE. And with that, I'll stop here and any questions we get. Anyway, it might be challenging to have questions in the audio visual format, but I wish you all a great event, and hopefully I'll see you, some of you at least later in the week when I'm back in the Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prabhu, for taking us through this wonderful journey and also telling us what future holds and what is that is going to be happening in CND.